The desire to be loved is one of the strangest things about being human. It's not logical, it's not efficient, and it doesn't disappear no matter how much we pretend it should. We want to be chosen, not just liked, not just tolerated, chosen by someone who sees us clearly and stays anyway. What's mind-boggling is how early this starts. Before success, before identity, before we even know who we are. We want love before we understand ourselves. So we search for it everywhere. In attention, in validation, in productivity, in being impressive. We confuse being useful with being lovable. We start thinking, if I become enough, someone will finally stay. And slowly, love turns into a performance. We edit ourselves, tone ourselves down, sharpen our best traits, hide the inconvenient ones. Not because anyone asked us to, but because we're afraid that the unfiltered version won't be enough. What's painful is that this desire doesn't always look like love. Sometimes it looks like overworking, sometimes like people-pleasing, sometimes like staying too long where we're barely tolerated, all for the hope of being wanted. And the strangest part? Even when we are loved, we often don't believe it. Because we don't know which version of us they're loving. The real one? Or the one we constructed to survive? The desire to be loved doesn't usually destroy us loudly. It does it quietly. Through small compromises we barely notice at first. You start saying yes when you mean no. You start explaining yourself too much. You tolerate things you wouldn't accept if you felt secure. All because somewhere inside, you're afraid that asserting yourself will make you unlovable. So you soften your edges, lower your needs, delay your truth. And you call it being understanding. But over time, you begin to disappear. Not all at once, but in pieces. The version of you that had opinions, boundaries, spontaneity. It gets replaced by a version that's easier to keep. And here's the cruel irony. The more you abandon yourself to be loved, the harder it becomes for anyone to actually love you. Because they're not meeting you. They're meeting a mask designed to survive. So even when affection comes, it feels hollow, conditional, like it could vanish the moment you stop performing. That's why love feels unstable to people who crave it deeply. Not because love is unreliable, but because it's being built on self-erasure. And the mind can sense that. It knows something isn't solid. So you cling harder, try more, give more, and the cycle deepens. The desire to be loved doesn't need to be erased. It needs to be understood. Wanting love doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. The problem starts when love becomes the proof that you're enough. Because when love is the goal, you start negotiating with yourself. You trade honesty for approval, boundaries for belonging, authenticity for safety. And no relationship built on that can feel secure. Real love doesn't come from being impressive. It comes from being present, from showing up as you are, not perfectly, but honestly. That means letting people see your uncertainty, your flaws, your limits. Not all at once, not recklessly, but without apology. And here's the paradox. The moment you stop trying to be lovable, you become more so. Because you're no longer asking someone to validate your existence. You're inviting them to share it. Some people won't stay. That's inevitable. But the ones who do will be choosing you, not a performance. And that kind of love doesn't feel like anxiety. It feels like relief. The desire to be loved never disappears, but it matures. It stops screaming and starts trusting. You still want connection. You just stop sacrificing yourself to get it. And that's when love finally has somewhere real to land.